Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Well, it's 2023. I hope we're all going to do good things with it. Hope you all had a good Christmas and a good New Year. Mine was very quiet, how I like them. Just perfect, apart from New Year's Eve, which was completely ruined by the overuse of fireworks, which obviously caused my poor old dog to be in a permanent state of distress from about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm not going to talk anymore about that because I'll go into a rant. I've been doing that since New Year's Eve, so let's forget that one. First of all, I'll just quickly explain what's happening with Saturday Chit Chat. I did kind of explain it last week at the end, but I had to kind of sort of rush through it a bit because I was hitting the 30-minute mark. As I said last week, it's going to be probably about once a month, which will give me plenty of time to watch as many movies as I can, including the ones that you guys are still recommending to me. So yeah, it'll be once a month. I think the first one I'm going to do probably the end of January or the first week of February. But really looking forward to that, and that will be going out on a Saturday because I will try and record that one sort of a few days before. So I can actually do that one on a Saturday and keep Sundays free for the Sunday service. So as I say, once a month on that one. So I shall let you know when the first one is about to drop. Right, first off, a massive thanks to Scott, the lovely Mr. Anders, who promoted my channel on his Instagram account last week. Thanks so much for that, mate. Much appreciated. I haven't checked whether the amount of subscribers I've got has gone up. It's something I don't really look at, to be quite honest, but I really do appreciate you promoting the channel. Every little bit helps. I've listened to one or two of your Friday night live streams that you do. I don't know whether you realise, but they lend themselves very well to the audio format. I work alone on a Saturday morning, and that and a couple of other podcasts, you don't even have to watch them, you can just listen to them, and they are a joy to listen to. You've got a very, very good conversational blend going there with the guys that join you. So keep on with that, mate. I'm loving that. As I say, that's something that I look forward to every Saturday morning now. Just sort of put my little earbuds in and away I go. So yeah, again, thanks for the promotion of the channel, mate. Very, very much appreciated. I'm looking forward to entering your latest contest. I'm having to think about that one. I'm fairly certain I know what my favourite one is. I'm struggling, as I think everybody does, with their least favourite horror film. But I will be popping an answer to that on your Instagram account as soon as I've thought of which way I'm going to go with it. So right, Guy, that video you posted last night of the projection room at the old Odeon. I mean, I never actually went up there. I spent many hours, many happy hours sitting in the Odeon. So as soon as you put the first picture up of the ceiling, I recognised it straight away, as I think anybody that's ever been to the Odeon would have recognised it. And that little video that you published of the projection room, I really did envy you. The first thing I thought was, when I saw that, I was eagerly trying to spot any film cans. Obviously they wouldn't have left anything like that there, and if they had have done, they'd have been nabbed by now. But that was a cracking video, mate. That was really good to watch. It was a real trip down memory lane, and it's good to know that at least one little part of the Odeon has survived. I've been looking at pictures of the Zenith X4000 projectors on Google. So I'll publish a couple of pictures later on, if I think on, of basically as they were when they were new. So yeah, I've found a couple of pictures, one that I think was published by the Burton Mail, and another one from another cinema. So I'll try and stick those on a bit later on. But a cracking video, mate. Really appreciated seeing that. Midco Toys, Can't wait to have a wander around this place. That picture you put on, Jace, of all the it looked like either computer games or DVDs or Blu-rays. I can't remember, but it's starting to look really good. And I mean, I'm off work, I think something like the first week of February, so I will at some point be popping into the town, and I shall have a little wander around there and see what it's actually like. But it's looking really good. It really is looking good, and I think they're going to do very well, because we've not really had anything like that does sort of movie memorabilia, sort of photo cells, that kind of thing. I don't think we've ever had anything like that in Burton. I think the only other place I can think of is the Forbidden Planet chain, but we hadn't had one of those in Burton. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a wander around there. Dave Oliver, Savage Zombie Reviews, The Evil Dead reaction trailer. I watched it for the first time this morning. Oh my God, I think I'm going to seriously struggle with this one. It looks amazing. It looks like it has been really well done, and they have spent some money on this. But a couple of the sequences, and I believe the trailer was actually rated R, and I'm not surprised. The sequence with the needle near the eyeball, yes, I'm going to struggle with that. I can't stand anything to do with eyes. And the bit with the cheese grater was just horrible. I don't believe you actually saw what happened, but you pretty much knew what was coming. So it looks amazing, and I can't wait to see it the same as you. But I think certain parts of it I am going to really, really struggle with. But we'll see how we go when it finally hits. I don't think it'll be a cinema visit. I shall wait for it to come on streaming or on Blu-ray, and I shall watch it from the comfort of my home. So yeah, looking forward to that. The other little bit of news that I posted this week is that the Passion of the Christ sequel, which is called The Resurrection, I believe, is due to drop hopefully sometime this year or next year. Mel Gibson is set to direct it. I still haven't seen the original. I bought it on Blu-ray a while ago, and when I read that bit of news, I went onto the IMDb, and they have a very useful feature on there called Parents Guide. And any movie, not just violent movies or explicit movies, but any movies, you can look on the Parents Guide and it will tell you exactly how much sex and nudity is in there, how much violence is in there, and it will describe the scenes. The Passion of the Christ, there are so many. I was reading them last night, and if I'd got the computer actually on, I would read some of them out to you, but it sounds absolutely horrendous. I mean, I've said I will watch it, and I've not bought it, for no reason, so I will be taking a look at it. But this is another movie that I'm going to seriously struggle with. The violence is supposed to be just awful. As you all know, not a massive fan of that kind of thing, but I will take a look at it. I would imagine the Resurrection is going to be a little gentler than that. I certainly hope so. But from what I read on the Parents Guide on the IMDb, I'm going to have serious issues with bones popping. That is my big thing. I cannot take the sound of bones breaking or things popping. I just find it horrible. And if I think that somebody's going to get a limb broken, I will normally mute the sound, or at least turn it right down so I can't actually hear it. The other movie that I looked at is a movie that I've been dying to see for ages, and all of a sudden the Parents Guide completely put me off. There's a movie called The Innocents, which is about a group of kids. It's a foreign movie, about a group of kids that discover they've got special powers which they use for not very nice sort of things. I believe one sequence involves a cat, which I absolutely would not be able to watch. There's another sequence with a boy playing football, and we have bones coming through legs, and so as much as I'm looking forward to seeing that, I now know exactly what I'm in for. Whether I'm actually going to watch it now is another matter. I don't normally like anything to do with animal cruelty, so from what I've read on the Parents Guide again on the IMDb, I think I'm going to have serious issues with that one. So whether I actually decide to watch The Innocents or not is another matter. But I will be watching The Passion of the Christ, but under very controlled conditions. And before you ask, no, I will not do a reaction video to it, because that means I will have to leave the sound on, and I don't want to do that. So I won't be doing a reaction video for that one. I don't really think it lends itself to that format anyway. It's a pretty serious film. It wasn't like the Freddy Got Fingered one that I did, which I must republish actually just at some point. But no, I won't be doing a reaction video to that one, but I will be taking a look at the film as such. Right, forgotten movies. Jason, you've really got us using our loaves on this one, haven't you? I'm absolutely loving this. It actually requires some thought, and a lot of them I've had to go through the filmographies because I can't think of any that everybody doesn't know and hasn't seen. Who have we had? I've got my notes here. Sigourney Weaver. Some cracking titles that I'd forgotten about. The Year of Living Dangerously with Mel Gibson. Haven't seen that for years. Vantage Point. I remember watching that and just becoming increasingly bored with it. If I remember right, it's the one to do with an assassination, and it goes backwards consistently to view events from different, as it says, vantage point. And I think after about the 8th time, I just got so bored with it. I watched it through, but I can't say I enjoyed it. What else was The Village? This is one I want to see. It's M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, isn't it? What if it's Shyamalan? Can't remember. But it's him, and I do want to watch that one. Copycat. I remember that being as brutal as hell, but really good. Paul. I didn't realise she was in that one. That's Simon Pegg and what's it, Frost? Nick Frost. I've seen it, but I don't remember Sigourney being in that. My choice was Death and the Maiden, which I saw a long time ago. Cracking drama, but difficult to watch. Who else did we have? Dustin Hoffman. See, that was a hard one for me. You got Sleepers, which is where he played a lawyer. And it also featured, if I remember right, Kevin Bacon as the most evil prison guard ever. It was set in a borstal or a young men's institution. It was pretty grim, nasty viewing. Let's see, what else did we have? Runaway Jury. That was based on a John Grisham book. Not seen it. Kramer versus Kramer. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Saw it when it first came out. I actually bought the soundtrack to that on vinyl. But yeah, cracking drama. What else do we have here? Sphere. Never seen it. Oh, and please don't bombard me with requests to watch all these. I am writing them down. I'm keeping a list of what I do need to watch, but I've got so many on the go at the moment. I'm trying to narrow it down a bit. And my choices, well, there were two here that one that I'd not heard of. American Buffalo. Steve McCartney, you recommended that one. And Straight Time, which I remember coming out, noticing that it was an X certificate and wondering why it was an X certificate. And I think it's mostly to do with the language. But I have heard of Straight Time. My two choices for that one were Midnight Cowboy, which is just one of my favourite movies ever. The first X certificate film to win Best Picture Oscar. And Marathon Man, which anybody that has seen Marathon Man will remember the most, what I would class as the most famous sequence in it, which is the dentistry scene. Once seen, never forgotten. I do remember they screened that on ITV in the late 70s, and it was one of the first movies that had the little square in the corner of the screen, which basically told you that you were watching something of an adult nature that was either going to be violent or sexually explicit. They started doing this after 9 o'clock. I think they stopped it after a while. They didn't bother with it, but this is how they started to screen controversial or violent movies. And I believe Marathon Man was one of the first ones to take advantage of that. Who else did we have? Tom Hanks. This was actually my easiest one. The movies that were mentioned: The Money Pit, I've not seen. Catch Me If You Can. Is that something to do with a con man? Not seen it. That Thing You Do. Yes, I have got that one written down on my watch list, and I haven't forgotten about it. But I have got it on there. And what else have we got here? Bachelor Party, which this was my choice, Bachelor Party, and I believe a couple of others would have put that one down as well. It is just a brilliant American Pie style comedy. I thought it was amazing. It was one of his first movies, and I thought it was just brilliant for what it was. Just easy viewing. I believe you watched it last night, didn't you, Jason? We were going to watch it, but we ended up choosing Love Thy Neighbour, which neither of us have seen for ages, and we just sat there and laughed through the entire 90 minutes near enough. Mostly at the fact that, you know, obviously a lot of the lines and a lot of the scenes you'd never get past censors nowadays, never in a million years. But it was funny back then, and it's still funny now. So yeah, that was our choice for last night. And I believe today's is Brad Pitt. I need to have a look at that one. I'm thinking along the lines of Benjamin Button. I really do need to go on the IMDb and have a look at his movies. I'm sure one will pop up that I thought, you know, yeah, that will do nicely. They won't remember that one. So, but yeah, loving the thread, mate. Keep them coming. Really appreciate the hard work you're putting into that one. Right, the Cult Lords. JR and Dane. I've remembered both your names this time. You did a video, it was either last week or the week before, your top 8 underappreciated movies of the 70s. Guys, I absolutely love that. I listened to it yesterday morning while I was at work, and absolutely loved every second of it. Well done, guys. The movies that you mentioned, it was just pure 70s heaven for me, and I'm begging you to please do another one along the same lines, set in the 70s, because I will absolutely listen to that one. Just reel off some of these movies that you mentioned: Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, a Clint Eastwood. Well, it's supposed to be a classic. I've never seen it. With, I think, Jeff Bridges, and I believe that's something to, it's some kind of a crime caper. I have got it on Blu-ray, but not had a chance to watch it yet. Let's see, what else have we got here? The Airport films. I'd completely forgotten about those as well. I remember seeing the original Airport from 1968, I think it was. And I believe I saw Airport 80, The Concorde. But I do need to watch the others, Airport 75 and Airport 77. Didn't the plane crash in the Bermuda Triangle? Am I right on that one? I seem to remember screaming that out from the poster outside of the local cinema. And I meant to go and watch it, but didn't get around to it. But I would love to watch all 4 of those again, because I do remember them being brilliant. Scrooge, my favourite ever Christmas movie. Brilliant choice. Let's see, what else have we got here? The Gumball Rally. I saw that a long time ago. As you say, it was a pre-runner to stuff like the Cannonball Run, and things like that, and I do remember it being very good. King Kong from 1976. I've never seen it, but I'm about to place an order for the Blu-ray, or maybe even the 4K Steelbook if I can find it. It's the only version of King Kong that I've not seen. I love the original from 1933. Peter Jackson's 3-hour epic was just superb, but this is the only one I've not seen, and I really want to see it. And I did notice it had been released on 4K just recently in the UK, so I will be grabbing a copy of that. The Lord of the Rings 78. I didn't see it at the time. I have seen it since, a couple of years after it came out, and I do, like you, remember being struck by the way the people and the horses moved. I did not know that's how they did it. For those of you that haven't seen the Cult Lords video, what they did was they used real actors and animals and animated over them, which obviously made the whole thing look very real, and a little bit unnerving, to be honest. but yeah, I didn't know that. It was a cracking version of it, and I've not seen the Peter Jackson ones yet, but I have got the Blu-ray box set of all the extended versions, which are 4 hours a piece. So I really need to set some time aside to get into those. But that was a good choice. The Bad News Bears. Seen this one a few times, many years ago. I haven't seen it for a while. Walter Matthau, and a load of foul-mouthed kids, if I remember right. Just a load of sweary children. I remember Jodie Foster. Was Jodie Foster in it? Can't remember. I do know Tatum O'Neill was in it. But cracking film. And as for the remake, as you say, I've not even watched it. I won't entertain watching that. As you say, you can't remake anything better than that. So they're probably best left alone. Bugsy Malone. My memory of this, the family and I used to go to what you would perhaps call a summer camp every year for families. And they used to have movie nights for the kids and movie nights for the adults in one of the rooms upstairs. And one of the movies that they showed was Bugsy Malone. And out of all the movies that were shown over the years and throughout the weeks, this one was absolutely packed. You couldn't move in there. There were people sitting down, there were people standing up. It was so popular back then. It's an Alan Parker film, if I remember right. And it is just a load of kids pretending to be gangsters. I did enjoy it the once, but I've not seen it since I was a kid. But it's perhaps one that I would have a look at. So I might grab a copy of that. What else have I got on here? Let's see. Gumball done that. Oh, The Last Detail. This is another one that they screened on one of the local networks, sort of after 9 o'clock, and it had the small square. Might have been a triangle actually, or was that another channel? Can't remember. But basically, I found out very, very quickly why it had the square in the corner. It was mostly, again, because of the language, and there were a couple of sexually explicit scenes set in brothels. It was a cracking film. Jack Nicholson was just brilliant in this, as he is in everything. And I believe that the young man they were escorting across country to a court to answer for charges. He's on a court martial, if I remember right. I think it was it Brad Dourif who played him? I need to have a look at that. Definitely need to check that one out. So that's all the ones that you mentioned. Now I'll just show you a few of the ones that you mentioned that I've actually got that we would have agreed on. Let's see now. First of all, this one, The Abominable Dr. Phibes. You called it Phoebes. You did make me laugh with that. The Abominable Dr. Phoebes. We call it Phibes. It's probably just the way we pronounce it. Brilliant Vincent Price movie. I've seen this a few times, but haven't seen it recently. But it's a 70s classic. And did you know, by the way, that there is a sequel to it? Dr. Phibes rises again. I think this is the one you were referring to as far as the Egyptian curses go. This is that one. The first one, I can't remember because I haven't seen it for so long. But that is another 70s classic. Let's see, what have I got here? The Deep. We'd have definitely agreed on this one. I saw this again when it first came out. I was expecting something like Jaws. Obviously this is not Jaws, it's not even close to Jaws, but it is a good standalone drama thriller. Jacqueline Bisset, Nick Nolte, Robert Shaw. I remember it being quite violent for the time. I believe it was an A certificate. But yeah, cracking movie. Never get bored of that one. And you mentioned these two, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, and also Sinbad of the Eye of the Tiger, which I'll be holding up in a minute. My story with these is these were a staple on summer holidays, summer vacation, and every year, round about June, July, August, you had this hit the local cinemas along on a double bill with usually this, or as you said, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, and what was the other one? Jason and the Argonauts. That sometimes ended up on a double bill with this one or that one. You also had Clash of the Titans, which it isn't 70s, but it's damn close. I think it was 81. But the Ray Harryhausen movies, they never get bored. As you say, they were the absolute apex of special effects back then. Way before CGI, there was stop motion. He started with a movie called 20 Million Miles to Earth, which I watched just recently. And another of his movies that I'm trying to track down on Blu-ray is The Valley of the Gwangi. Now, if you've not seen that and you like Harryhausen's work, I would definitely recommend that one. Corking movie. And the one that I was so pleased to see on your list was this one, Kingdom of the Spiders. My all-time favourite Nature Fights Back movie. As you say, as far as, you know, animals attacking humans, it doesn't get much better than this. I remember seeing this at Burton Odeon. It would have been 1977 or 8. It was on a double feature with a movie called The Redeemer, which was an X certificate. Now, I couldn't get in to see this because I was only 15. Even though Kingdom of the Spiders was an AA certificate, which was over 14s, it was on a double feature with an X certificate movie, which was The Redeemer, so I couldn't get in. So I had to take my aunt down with me, who knew somebody in the Odeon who got me in, and obviously I subjected her to this absolutely horrible story of spiders. I'm an arachnophobe anyway, so this is my ultimate nightmare, and I can still watch this now and it will still make my flesh crawl. But absolutely brilliantly done. William Shatner has never been better than he was in this one. So that's that one. And the big surprise that I saw is this one. I did not expect this one to make it onto your list. I don't know why. We're a little bit snobbish in England. We automatically think that British movies don't translate well to the States, mostly because of accents and stuff like that. There are movies like Gregory's Girl from the early 80s, Kes from the late 60s, which had issues with people basically saying that they couldn't understand what was being said. So I automatically assumed that it would go the same for this. So I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised, by the way, to see this on your list. This, to me, is the best British youth movie pretty much ever made. And it's got an absolutely brilliant cast of up-and-coming British talent, a lot of whom didn't make it in the States. I believe Ray Winston has done a couple of movies. He was in one of the Indiana Jones movies that I watched last week, which was The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So he was in this for a short while. But yeah, I was really surprised, pleasantly surprised to see this on your list. I love this film and I am due to watch it again. So, what else have I got here? Oh, the Heidi trailer. Oh, Jesus Christ. That looks mad as fuck, doesn't it? I am definitely going to watch that. I will track down a copy on streaming or something, and I will definitely be taking a look at Mad Heidi. It obviously looks like it fits in very nicely with the current slew of movies like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the Bambi one that I mentioned last week that's coming out. I think it'll fit in very, very nicely with that. It's obviously not a movie to be taken seriously, but I can't wait to watch that one. Let's see, where did you get your theme music from, by the way? It's very catchy. It's like a cross between the Rocky Horror Picture Show and Blue Oyster Cult. I think it's absolutely brilliant. It's a real earworm. Once you hear it once, you don't ever forget it. So where did you get that from? Did you have that specially made, or is it a track that I don't know about? I'm just curious about that. But what else have I got here? Yeah, I mean, that video has actually inspired me to do one forgotten 70s movie a week. Mainly movies that you didn't mention, and a lot of them are British. So yeah, you've inspired me to introduce a new feature from next week, which is going to be a forgotten movie from the 70s. So thanks for that. Really appreciate that. And if you please do some more 70s themed videos, because I absolutely loved every second of that one. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Right, one quick mention before I disappear, because we're hitting 30 minutes any second now. Mark Bailey, you love getting shout outs, so I thought I'd give you one on this one. 13 Ghosts series. You mentioned last week you would love to see a 13 Ghosts series based on the movie, but exploring the backstories of the ghosts. Brilliant idea, like that. I would definitely have a look at that. Right, I'm going to sign off because we're just over 30 minutes and this is going to click off in a minute. Thanks ever so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, and also like, subscribe and share. That would be really very much appreciated. Have a great week, folks, and I will be back again at roughly the same time next week. Take care of yourselves. Ta-da.